Hello, Leo. Excuse me. I think I just smacked myself in the head on accident. Yeah. Thank you for tuning into your general read. For the main read, I'm using the Modern Spellcasters Tarot by Melanie Marquis and illustrations by Scott Murphy. I don't know if you can see it all. Melanie's name is in white if you want to see how that's spelled, in case you like the deck. The Supportive Cards, the Magical Unicorn Oracle Cards by Doreen Virtue. Okay. Yes, we are good. Okay. No. Leo. That's always an interesting card. Let's see. I'm excited to see how this one card plays out because what it says and what it actually means can be different things. And just I'll show you what the card is. That way you can look for it when it goes forward. It's pets. But sometimes this is just talking about a very caring relationship where you are in complete control or where you're providing for somebody almost in a charitable way. So we'll have to see when we get to that part of the reading how that's really going to show itself, but I'm very intrigued because that card is very interesting. It always has something different to say, it seems like, every time I see it. So as we go into this, I do see that you do, for the most part, have an overall energy. You have the Five of Swords. And again, I've probably said it a million times if you're somebody who watches me often, I always read cards based on what I'm getting off of them, not by the traditional meaning. And I have to be honest with you, but looking at this picture, it doesn't look really familiar to me. I can't think of what the actual Five of Swords looks like on the other deck I use. So, that being said, when I'm seeing this, I feel like this is somebody holding off any danger. This is somebody ready to fight if necessary, but very defensive, defending, like, keeping a lookout, and but ready to fight if necessary, and protective, very protective energy, which seems to go with the Pets card, because that's another thing I've noticed with the Pets card a lot. People, when I get that, usually it's referring to some type of defending or protecting or taking care of somebody in that sense. So it seems to be your overall energy is to protect and to defend in the defense of others. So let's go forward and see what else we have going on here. Now, I'm seeing here, I want to say it was Aries had something similar in the beginning, but not exactly. They had the Tower with the Seven of Cups. You have the Seven of Cups with the Chariot and the Hierophant here, which these are very different from what I'm used to seeing, which I very much love because they make the messages change from the mundane. The Hierophant especially, I find him very interesting how this card looks. It almost has like a devil feel to it slightly because of the two figures down there, the red and the green figures. Also has a very wintry feel because of those colors remind me of Christmas, which is winter here in the U.S. where I am when that happens. Especially with the gift there. Like, it makes me feel like this is something that was supposed to be a good occasion that didn't turn out that well. It makes me feel like it was following along the plan. Things were supposed to work out a certain way, and just it did not work out as planned. That's my first impression of this. And the Chariot card is different from what I'm used to. The first thing that pops up or that I noticed on this Chariot is there's only one horse. There's usually like a black and a white one, and this one's like a copper horse pulling a lotus, which makes me feel like this is somebody who's just like rushing in there and just not really thinking about what they're doing. They're just kind of rushing in. Is how I'm getting it for this. So I feel like the way this situation was supposed to work out as opposed to the way it did, like somebody kind of pushed in and created a bit of chaos and things went all different directions. Preset plans did not happen. And things that did happen were just halfway done. It did not seem to work out the way it was supposed to. And that seems to be the strongest energy coming into this right now, that certain things were supposed to happen a certain way. You've been planning them, you thought you were going to be a part of them, maybe you've enjoyed this event before, but the way it played out due to some other influence pushing in the way they did, things didn't get done as they normally would. Some things didn't get done at all, and the things that did get done mostly didn't get done right or to completion. So I feel like there's a lot of like dissatisfied energy here, like things did not work out the way it should have. And the Four of Swords is on the environment side here, and in this card it makes me feel like someone is just kind of trying to I feel like they're trying to stay out of it now that it's happened. Like the person who created this chaos seems like they're trying to just wait it out, and they're just praying that the mistakes they made aren't going to come back and bite them in the butt. But they're aware that people are very annoyed with them, and it's like they're surrounded by people who are just kind of like, you screwed this whole thing up, and this usually goes a lot better, but what you did created a lot of unhappiness and just kind of ruined the event. I feel like the event was ruined, whatever it was. And this person is hoping they can skip out on the situation and just not be torn apart. So they're just kind of wishing and praying and hoping that it's just going to pass by. Now, as this goes forward, I'm noticing that energy of you again, that protective energy, that charitable energy, taking care of somebody, looking out for somebody, somebody who can't really take care of themselves. And even though you weren't happy with the situation either, I'm wondering if this is the person that you're trying to protect, because you're looking at it like, you know what, things happen, and I feel like you're looking at this person like they didn't realize what they were doing, and they didn't really mean to make a crazy mess of this whole situation, but you're kind of like, the situation's over, lesson learned, let's move on, let's just let it go. And I feel like you might be a little protective of this person because you're at least happy that they got out there and they tried. I feel like you're looking at this like a half-full situation, quite frankly. You're seeing that they're backing off. You're seeing that they know they did wrong and it didn't work out. Or they're at the very least, they realize that the way they went about it did not work. So you feel like the way they're feeling about themselves and how it turned out, that they got the message. They know that that wasn't how that was supposed to work out. And they're feeling the pressure of it. And you're just kind of, I feel like you're becoming defensive because you're like, you know what, we don't all need to gang up on this person. They already learned their lesson. You don't need to mutilate them. Done is done. But the first card I see for your mental aspect going in is you'll know in the morning. So I don't feel like you're realizing how upset this person is just yet. No, that's not coming through. So what are we talking about? You're stepping to their defense. You don't realize you're going to do that just yet. Okay, so you're aware of how they feel, and you feel like, you know, enough's enough. They did wrong, yes, but they know it, and they're feeling the pressure from it, so we can just back off, let it be. We don't need to have a fit about it. Let's let it go. And you're not realizing that this is going to become a situation, but it looks like it's going to become a situation. Because I feel like as we come in, the situation didn't turn out the way it was supposed to. You weren't happy either, but you're just like, you know what, the event's over. This person learned their lesson. It's not going to happen again. This person isn't going to do the same again. So if we keep them in that position, I'm sure they'll do better next time. If we don't put them in that position, well then what's the use of being upset now? Because it's done is done. Let's let it go. And I feel like that's your attitude at this point in the beginning. Then the next part steps in. It's the Six of Wands. Now I'm noticing at the bottom of this card, there's a lot of people angry, and there's somebody standing in front of them trying to like back them off. And while wands to me are a fire energy, this person does have a bird on their shoulder, which makes me feel like there's a lot of communication going on here. I feel like this is where you start defending. This is where you're calming people down. You're just like, you know what, we don't need to all lose our heads. Let's just back off. Let's just chill out. And I feel like you're constantly having to squelch fires. And you're like, you calm this one down, but you hear those two over there going at it about it, and then you have to get involved in that and calm that down. And then they were like, well, so-and-so and so-and-so were talking about it, and you're kind of running around trying to squelch these fires. You're like, it's like you're dealing with a whole bunch of people in different areas. Like you have to keep like calling people, going to see people, slowing it down. And I feel like you are. I mean, it's not only because you're feeling defensive for this person and you want to protect this person because you're like, you know what, it was a mistake, but we don't need to kill somebody over a little mistake. Yes, it was a big event and it's a big deal, but it's over. It's too late now to fix it. And there's no reason to mutilate somebody over it. I feel like you're very strong with that feeling. Like, you know what, there's no need to go after somebody like this. And you're also feeling like, you know what, this is going to rip apart the situation. This is going to not only hurt that person, but it's going to hurt the whole thing. And it's going to cause more problems than good going forward. So you're trying to squelch it. This person, by the way, at this point seems to be realizing you're talking to their benefit. And they're feeling like this is a prayer answered. I know it says wish upon a star, but I'm seeing it on their side going forward after you get involved. And I feel like they're feeling... I feel like you're feeling... Okay. I feel like they're feeling... Yay. That you're really like helping them. They needed the help. They knew that they were going to get flambéed or filleted. Filleted, is that the word I want to use? But you're stepping in and you're kind of saving them a bit so they don't have to be completely destroyed. Because I feel like they're very stressed and they feel very bad about what went wrong. But the fact that you're stepping in there and slowing it down, they're extremely thankful. Extremely thankful here. And I feel like it's making them feel like it's a lot better. A lot better. I'm also noticing going forward, and again, this deck is different from what I'm used to. I'm used to seeing rods as a fire energy, but I'm noticing this Knight of Wands is on a bird. So I'm kind of getting like a fire-air feel here, to be honest with you. Just how I'm feeling about it. Like you're actually physically getting in there, but you're communicating and you're calming people down. You're like backing people off. The way this is looking, like you're flying back and you're revisiting situations and you're reminding people, you know what, this doesn't need to be. Like you're here flying back towards this situation. The original conflict where people started having a fit about it, that you calmed down, you're reminding people, like I said this and that, and like this is, and you're reminding people, like you're going over the situation again. Like let's just get along, let's let it go. You are creating this harmony. The Four of Wands in this deck makes me feel like harmony. It feels like things are going back to a stable standing. It feels like people are seeing eye to eye again. I feel like people are more conducive with how you feel and more respectful of your opinion. And they seem to be like of the mindset, you know what, you're right, let's let it go. And you've made your point how this can't repeat the same way again because of X, Y, and Z. You've made your point multiple times at this point, I feel. And people are seeing it your way, I feel, more than they were before. And you've kind of made your point, like, you know what? We don't need to be savages and start ripping people apart. Done is done. Let's let it be what it is. Now, the person who made the folly, this is a funny card. This is the Two of Pentacles. The Two of Pentacles on this one, just the way he's walking and all this, it really makes me feel like the Fool card a little bit. But the juggling here makes me feel like this person is realizing they're on thin ice with other people. They're getting along, things are going better, but they're very well aware that, you know what, they better mind their P's and Q's for whatever, pints and quarts, whatever that works, and keep it on the down low. Because even though people are getting along right now and being nice, they're aware that your effort made that happen, and they have to make sure that they toe the line and make sure everybody else is happy so that this can be truly left in the past. And I feel like you've recreated this moment of the past, or reminding people of how well everybody usually gets along. I feel like that's why the Six of Cups, is this the Cups? Yes. That's why the Six of Cups is showing up at the end of your reading here, because you're reminding people, you know, you usually get along, everything's usually fine. Let's not destroy things and create a bad situation when the situation truly is good. It was a situation, but it's over. Let's move on. And you're like resetting it to what it used to be. You're resetting it to the way people usually get along. And it's taking off and it's going that way. Like I feel like you're resetting the whole situation. You had to do a bit of work to make it happen. And I feel like the reason was to get it back there. Like that's the whole reason you stood up in defense. That's the whole reason you're defending this person, because you want this. You want things to go back to the normal, sane way that they've been handled, the normal day-to-day situation. And that's what you got it back to. I think I'm just going to touch on this only because this card, like I said, and I feel like it's not talking about literally a pet. It's talking about how people get along and how you're literally taking care of this person. I feel like this person can't take care of themselves, and there's nothing they can do to stop this. If you step back, they're gonna get flattened, and there's nothing they can do. They're just gonna be bruised and beaten and savagely destroyed. So you step in, and you're literally taking care of them. You're making sure that they're fed, clothed, or whatever. I don't know. I don't know if we want to go that crazy about it, but you're making sure nobody kills them. You're making sure nobody harms them, or you're making sure that they're going to be safe and taken care of, and that it doesn't destroy them. And they're dependent on your protection in this situation, because without it, these other people, I feel like, are going to just like massacre them. Whatever the situation is, I feel like without you stepping in and backing people off, that's what's going to happen. For the most part. Well, I mean, not like you're going to literally kill them, but, it's going to emotionally wreak havoc on this person. Anything else with this? There's one last thing that's coming through here with this. I feel like you're becoming more close to this person, too. Like, I feel like you've made a friend and an ally, and this person is very, very, very much paying attention to what you say and what you feel, and because they realize they owe a lot of this situation moving on the way it did, getting a lot better, a lot quicker to you. And I feel like you've made a strong ally, a strong friend here through this situation. I don't feel like you were as close to begin with, but by the end of this, you've made a very strong ally who will look out for you and help you when necessary. So it wasn't all for nothing. It wasn't like it was... Well, I mean, you didn't do it expecting that, but that's going to be your end result from this as well. All right, I think we're good. All right, I'm going to wrap that up there. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.